Gabrielle, first of all, what sort of data are they collecting? Because I can only imagine GPS data of where you go from one place to another.
Yeah, well, location is a big one that'll be very valuable for sure, but also things like your driving. How do you drive? Do you speed? Do you slam on the brakes a lot? They could also look at how your car is performing. If you're having engine trouble, they want to know that right away so they can try to figure out what the problem is.
Is this primarily going to be beneficial for the consumer, or is it a little bit of a breach of privacy in the sense that they'll know if you're ordering pizza from your car?
Well, they're always going to give you the option. That's something they always talk about. But I think, so it has to be sort of up to every consumer to decide if it's really beneficial for them. There's always going to be probably a carrot for you, a discount on your insurance, $5 off your lease payment. But you will be letting them make a lot of money off you in return for that exchange.
Yeah. So how are they going to use all of this data? Are ads going to pop up at you in the car? How does this work?
Well, the pop-up ad example is there is a company called Telenav that I saw in Las Vegas at CES this year that is looking at putting pop-up ads in your infotainment screen. And the way that would happen is it would be free to you, but you have to have fancy services in the car, like you want to be able to have GPS navigation in the car. Maybe it's a mass market car, not very expensive. They'll give you these fancy features in exchange for you being willing to look at the ads. So that's a sort of, that could be about 3 years away. That's what they're thinking.
Now, who will decide whether this goes into any individual car? Will it be the Fords and the GMs and the, even the Teslas, or will it be the consumer that soups up their car with these things?
The technology is going to be in the car, and then the consumer's choice is, yes, I'll let you share data with third parties, with companies. So you have to, there's going to be a terms of service, agreement, something like that, that'll inform you of what's going on. Then you have to choose whether or not you're okay with it or not.
Yeah, so don't drivers have to give permission for all of this data to be shared with these automakers?
Yes, they do. I mean, and that is the rule. They do. The FTC regulates this. Automakers sent out a set of principles of how this is going to operate, which has now become the law for them. I think the question is whether or not people are really paying attention to what they're doing. I mean, when I'm on my iPhone and I have a 50-screen terms of service thing that I'm swiping through, I don't really care. I just want to get my app.
No, but that's the point, right? All these terms of service, they're so complicated that they're very long, and that should ring alarm bells in the first place, because if they're that complicated, you really should have your lawyer look over it, right? I mean, you really want to know what's in there.
For every dozen apps that we have on our phones, but it's so true. I never read them. When could we see this technology and this sort of system being implemented?
Well, okay, so in the case of the pop-up ads, that's something, they're talking about now, so maybe 3 years from now we might see that in cars on the road. But there's also a bigger picture kind of end game for the automakers, which is they want to be like Google or Facebook. They want to be getting all this data from you and aggregating it and selling it to third parties, whether it's a hedge fund or a bank or could be, retail stores, a gas station, a Starbucks, whatever. So that could be personalized, it could be anonymized, and that, I think they're all kind of scrambling to build the digital infrastructure to do that now, and it's still a few years away.